Hey everybody, this is a quick 2-minute PD session on comparing two fractions with different numerators and different denominators. This is a 4th grade standard. We're going to be doing this by comparing to a benchmark fraction. We are going to skip the common denominators and numerators one right now. We'll touch a little bit on it, but we're going to really focus on the benchmark fraction. So what the heck is a benchmark fraction? I'm so glad you asked. It's a famous fraction. It's the fractions that are common that we use to compare fractions to other numbers. So tonight we're going to use the most famous benchmark fraction, which is the half. So right over here, what we want to do when we present this to students is we just want to ask them really quick, what do they notice? They're going to say, oh, well, I noticed that there's 2 different denominators, and you want to point out, you want to ask them, so which one do you think has the larger pieces? And some of them will probably say 10, but you want to kill that misconception and let them know that if there's a larger denominator, then there are smaller pieces. But that doesn't really always help us when we're talking about comparing fractions. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So today we want to give them some visuals to help them in that reasoning process. So basically what we would have them do is we're going to create a number line. We're going to stick that half in there. And what we want to do is get students to start thinking about 8ths, 2/8, and what that would look like on a number line. I like to make another number line, and I like to try to plot 2/8. So they would have to know the relationship to the whole, which is a very important piece with fractions. They would have to know that 8/8 is my whole. And so if I know that, I know that right there in the middle, 4/8 is my half. Now, I can look at 2/8 and I can say, well, if 4/8 is here, 3/8 might be here, 2/8 might be here. Then you want to say, well, what do you notice in relationship to the half? And hopefully your students will be able to say, well, I know that 2/8 is less than half because the half is 4/8. Now we have 7/10 that we need to look at. I forgot my little circle. So, same thing. What is the relationship to the whole? If I were putting 7/10 on a fraction number line, where would that go? Well, you need to know that 10/10 is the whole. And then, so what is my half? Well, Miss G, the half is going to be 5/10. So if I know where 5/10 is, I can certainly plot my 7/10. 6/10 is probably here, 7/10 is here. Now what I want to do is I want to circle this 2/8 here, this 7/10 here, and really show my benchmark, which is the half. Now here's where the reasoning comes in. We want students to be able to say, oh, well, Ms. G, obviously 7/10 is greater than 2/8. Why do you say that, Johnny? Oh, because I'm looking at the benchmark fraction. I can tell that 7/10 is greater than a half, and 2/8 is less than half. And this is the kind of language, that we want them to be able to give us. Now, of course, they can do the cross-multiply method, the butterfly, and they can do all of this crossing. But if you ask them, well, how do you know? They can't say, well, the butterfly told me. They can't say, well, I cross-multiply. So we want to give them some foundational conceptual understanding to let them know that 2/8 is less than 7/10 because I compared it to the half. I compared it to the famous fraction. I compared it with a benchmark fraction. If you have any questions, send me an email.